First off, the class is just a white belt curriculum, the first thing that they would learn wouldn't be heel hooks. It would just be kind of introduction to just basic jiu-jitsu techniques, concepts, primarily defensive skills, escaping pins, things like that. And then occasionally you start sprinkling in, general basic application submissions of all kinds, including, not necessarily emphasizing, but including lower body. So they have a good general understanding. But it's important, I think, to learn both upper and lower body submissions and get comfortable with them regardless of your skill level, because the danger that comes from submissions is more so from lack of control as opposed to the submission itself. It's not inherently more dangerous to do a heel hook than it is to do a kimura, for example, which is something that you learn very early in jiu-jitsu. And so as long as they understand the technique and understand that submissions, if applied quickly and without control, without emphasis on control, are really what is the danger. It's not the actual submission itself, it's the people that are applying it. If you can do that, then you can limit the amount of injuries that come from the room. So it's more so, I think, about creating the proper awareness and training environment. And then also, a lot of people that get injured in heel hooks tend to get injured because they don't know the position, they freak out, and then they try to twist and turn and spin out in the wrong way just because they don't have an awareness. And most of the time, the injuries are not really severe. It's usually like a little pop, your knee's sore for a couple days or a couple weeks, but it's not like a catastrophic injury. But it can easily be avoided if you just understand and learn the positions, and you learn how to respond accordingly if you're in the position, and learn how to control it properly when you're applying the position. So just like any other submission. That gets us outside the elbow, wrist goes all the way in as I pull past my partner and I control the hip. Then we just jam everything forward onto our partner's hands, and then from here, we can start to look to take our partners back. All right, let's try it. Rising drag, feet inside. Good. So that way if he comes forward, he comes onto your guard. And then drag, and as you drag, simultaneously move your feet to the outside. Come up, thigh pry, and just jam everything forward. Good. And just pressure all weight onto his hands. Good. Nice. Now put weight onto his hands. Good. Drive off your feet and jam. Good. Nice. Good. Do it again. Make your grips. Feet are on the inside.
So we don't want feet here.
Start with your feet inside, and you can tuck that foot in like you had it, but just leave this foot inside. Good.
Got it.
So grab his wrist. Other hand. Good. Now start going for the drag. Good. Now as you start going, swisher your feet behind you, and as you drag, your head's full. Yeah. Good. Like this.
And then you throw the thigh pry in.
Yeah. And then now both hands go behind the elbows. Good. Like this, and just drive all the weight forward. So make your arms stiff, and just jam weight onto his hands. So double thigh pry. 2 hands in, and just pressure forward with your hands extend. Yeah, exactly like this.
So you don't want to go right into like body lock, like rear body lock or anything?
Yeah, you do, but if he tries to stand up or if he tries to fight your hands, I jam everything forward. So if you're down, if I go down here, if I stay here, a lot of times he starts trying to mess with my hands, and if I see him start to do that, I pressure forward so he can't use his hands. He has to use his hands to bear his weight.
So you're going to break him and then you're going to...
So you're going to switch, yeah. But if you ever feel that he goes to stand up, thigh pry.
All right. So as soon as I try to break that grip,
Jam it forward so you have to post your hands on the floor. I want to get behind my partner through use of the arm drag. This time, my training partner stops me. Maybe I'm going against somebody bigger than me, or just in general, getting behind people is always a good strategy, but just something to keep in mind. If I can pull his arm across as I come forward and rise, we're going to get behind him. We've gotten past his elbow. But oftentimes what will happen is your partner, as I go through and start dragging, he starts posting that leg up. And then I can't get behind him because the leg's in the way. So if he didn't post the leg up, I would take his back. But if he posts that leg up, I can't get behind him. So that first strategy is kind of out of the picture. However, I did get his leg extended. So a second strategy you can use, especially when going against heavier people, is if you can't get behind them, get underneath them. Carry their weight on your legs, on your hips, and get between their knees. Get underneath their center of gravity. So from here, as the arm drag fails, I can pull my training partner in towards us, and from here, now we're underneath our partner's hips. And there's so many different ways that I can get my training partner out of balance, and I'm controlling the space between his 2 knees, and I carry his weight on my legs. I don't have to carry his weight on my arms, on my frames. So there's a bunch of different ways that we can go about taking our partner, reversing our partner, entering into submissions, et cetera, et cetera. So this time,
Our partner does a good job. I go for the drag, he posts that leg up, we just slide in, and we enter into our training partner's legs. And then from here, we can start looking to bump them down, and go into our offense from these positions. All right, let's give it a shot.
It's not so much about the actual submission, it's about making sure that they learn to control any sort of joint lock. So you can hurt somebody just as easily with a heel hook as you could with an arm bar if you're not controlled. And also teaching the proper response so they don't hurt themselves in the submission. Bring it in.
Let's expand further on this. Initially, we start off, we want to get behind this guy. He posts that leg up. From here, we pull ourselves underneath and we end up, in this position here. As my training partner goes to stand up, from here, he's going to want to start taking this foot off of the hip. Now my hips go to the floor and he can start stepping out to the side, and now he puts me in a defensive position. So the moment that I see that he takes this foot off of my hip, we're just going to swim that foot around. My right foot, very important. As I lose connection with the left, can't have my feet just dangling here. I have to keep it sticky, so if he tries to step out, I have a good connection to that leg. Step your leg out further. Good. We're just going to thread that foot from on top of this hip to across, and we make an X with our 2 feet. Right when we make an X, what we want to do is we want to occupy our training partner's hands. If his hands are free, now you can start messing with my feet and causing problems. So we want his hands touching the floor. So create a habit is every time you see your training partner start standing up, we just extend and we bump his hands down to the floor. Once I bump my training partner's hands down to the floor, we have tons of different options. You control the space between his 2 knees and you're underneath his center of gravity with your legs. Okay, so you have a lot of control in this position. Right from here, what we're going to do is we're going to switch our feet. We're going to take the top foot and we're just going to switch from top to bottom. Once we switch from top to bottom, we give a little push and pull and we elevate our training partner's knee so it floats right above our head, and that way I can reach it with the hand that was controlling this leg initially. I was controlling this leg. Now I reach, I pull it in, we lock a triangle, and we sit our training partner straight down to the floor. From this position, you can take your time. You're controlling both of your training partner's legs. So he's not going to be able to get up from here. If you want, you can use this position to start coming on top of your partner and using it to flatten him out. You also have the option to enter into your training partner's leg with submissions. We can go through, we can start looking to attack his legs. We do a good job of hitting that arm drag, but he does a good job of responding. So we slide into the legs and we enter. I want to bump him down to the floor, but he clears that foot off. So we keep sticky right leg, other leg threads through. Don't have your feet passive. Actively hook your feet in. Okay, so there's tension in his leg. He wants to use his hands. So I'm controlling one leg with my left arm. His other leg is controlled between my 2 legs. He wants to split these connections, so I bump his hands down to the floor to disrupt that. We switch our feet from top to bottom, pull his leg up towards us. Notice my low back comes off the floor. Now his leg's within reach. I can just easily pull it, sit my training partner down. We can come up if we want to, or we could release that leg, fall back on my training partner's heel. From here, start going into submissions. All right, let's give it a shot. Active feet. Dorsiflex, so that from here, when he tries to pick his leg up and move around, try to pick this, it's sticky, it's tight. And now bump him to the floor, put his hands to the floor, give a little bump. Now your feet are gonna switch from top to bottom. So your right leg is gonna go on top now. And now just take it out of the pants. And then you're gonna pull your knees to your chest and you're gonna bring his knee above your head. So you're gonna lift it, good. Now use your other hand, go back. Keep this knee like this. Use this hand to grab, pull, and just get this knee behind his knee. Keep this one here. Pull it all the way, lock, and then sit him down. Then from here, you can either use it, he's not gonna be able to get out from here very easily until you let go of this leg. So as long as you have 2 legs, try to move around, Drew. You can get both his legs controlled. So if you want, you can come on top, or you can let go of the secondary leg to attack the primary leg.
I still keep this trap.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Point your knees up to expose his heel, and then put it in your wristwatch. Now connect your 2 hands. Shoulder goes to the mat, and finish. The X, but just put this one on top. Now bring his knee above your head. So pull your legs up towards me. No, stay up, stay up. This hand is gonna grab, you're gonna pull his knee, and you're gonna bring your knee behind.
Nice. Now this time, let's say for example, you go into reverse X. Now bump his hands to the floor. You lift the leg, but before you can get your knee behind his, he back steps all the way to his hip. So from here, just back roll on top. Keep both legs. He back steps. Nice, good. Just include that reaction. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So clear it. Use this leg to lift and bump him forward. And then now from there, just bring your foot into the space that he can't stop. Yep. Bring it back in. Good. And then from there, switch. If you can reach his far leg, grab it, but he'll usually probably keep it further away. So I just keep it usually posted on the lat or the tricep. Yeah. Stretching, like pushing and pulling, and tilting. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. But for entering the leg, you got to switch your feet. So now take your right foot and just thread it. Same thing, the same exact X configuration, but just switch your foot from top to bottom. Yep, good. Now, same thing, bump his hands to the floor. Now pull his leg towards you with the legs first, and then you grip above the knee. And then now shoot this leg through and pull his knee towards you. Yeah, and now set him down. Oh no, your legs are the wrong way. So you're in regular X, you gotta go to reverse X. Now put her hands to the floor. Good, elevate the leg so that her knee comes close to your head, and now reach with your left hand. Pull it in, get your knee behind her knee, and sit her down. Nice. We get into our partner's legs. Same sequence, we go arm drag. The arm drag fails, he puts his leg up, we enter into his legs. From here, he clears our hand off, we switch to the Achilles. We initially go to a X feet here, and then we're in an X guard type position. We could go into the previous move, so we have to switch our feet. We go from regular X to a reverse X, or from here we have a bunch of different options that we can go about using. One good option for us here is right now I have a grip around my training partner's ankle, with my hand on my stomach. So we're just gonna grab and reinforce his knee, provided his hands are on the floor. If at any point your training partner takes his hands off the mat, we're always looking to bump his hands back to the floor. So just keep that in mind. We grab the knee, okay, and we keep the knee in place so that I can remove this hand and either cut my elbow in or punch my hand through. It's important that we hold the knee, because especially without the gi, and when we get sweaty, if I didn't have this hand on the knee and I tried to just slip my hand in, he just pulls his leg out and I lose it. I hold the knee so when he tries to back step out, that knee is reinforced by my hand. That gives me a second to be able to go in, and now I switch to a scooping grip. So before I had a grip around the Achilles, now I switch to a scoop grip on my partner's leg. From here, I'm gonna post on his shoulder. I'm gonna take my right leg and I'm just gonna push him away from me to extend this leg further. Now I'm gonna shift my hips out to the side. I'm gonna fire my top leg through and in front of his thigh here. All the while, I'm looking to take his foot from the bottom shoulder up to the top shoulder, figure four my legs, and we lock on heel hook on my partner. From here, if he stays here, we're just gonna go belly down and we're gonna start extending for the finish. But if your partner decides to backstep, it's important that we don't allow, let's go back. When you backstep with your head above my head, so come up towards me. We don't allow him to backstep and come up here, because now he can hold my head. When he holds my head, I can extend all I want, but I'll never be able to finish. And then in time, he's gonna look to start pulling on my elbow, and I lose the heel. It's important that when he backsteps, I have to put some sort of barrier between me and him. So as he goes to backstep, I'm sensitive to the idea, and I put my foot right there on his belly button. I point my knee to the floor. I can take my foot to the opposite side, lock everything up for the finish. So let's take it from the top.
We come out, drag, he steps. We come through, we switch to X guard to put his hands down on the floor. And from here, we grab the knee and we switch from Achilles to scoop grip above the knee. Again, so he doesn't just pull his leg out. My hand's just here. He can pull his knee to his chest, get sweaty, we lose it. We grab the knee. When he tries to rip that leg free, it's a much more robust grip. We push him away from us. We put the foot on the shoulder. We move out to an angle to where now I can see my training partner's tailbone. I fire the leg through, lock up a figure 4, put his toes in my armpit, and we lock everything up here. Once I lock up, I'm either finishing from this position, or if he goes to back step, I have to follow him and have my knee down on the mat between me and my partner. When he tries to grab my head, it's too far away. And then from there, we can get our finish. All right, let's try it.
Can you talk through the finishing mechanics through finishing from backside?
Yep. Get the heel hook. Your right knee should be in front of his knee. Bring the hands high. Point your knees down. Bring your left shoulder, forward, and then just begin to extend. Good. Grab his knee with your left hand. Left hand. Switch to X guard. So make an X around the far leg. Now take your right foot and just put it on his lat here. Good. Push him away to straighten this leg. Now shift your hips out so that you're facing that way. So your hips come out towards me and your hips face that way. Yep. This leg is going to start firing over, through, and in front of this one, and lock a triangle like this. Good. Now bring this foot to the top armpit. Good. Lock it up.
Which way?
Like this. Good. And then start to extend and finish. And if he back steps, follow him. Back step with him. Get your knee to the floor. You're just too low on the knee. You got to come up higher. Yep. Now lock your hands. Yep. Shoulder goes to the mat, so really flatten out on this shoulder. Good. And extend. Try to walk your hands towards him. Walk your hands towards him. It's good. Now use your foot to post and push him away. Now shift, thread through. While you're threading, also start bringing the foot up. Yeah, I would start with your right hand, go down. Right hand, grab the toes, pull it up, and then pass it off to the left at the toes. Use it to just catch the elbow. When you yeah, if you can go straight to that would be great. Good. And then when he back steps, follow him. Get a little closer with the hip, so make sure that while you're doing it, you're back heeling so you don't separate.
Am I using this foot to defend as he steps over?
This one, you put the foot on the belly. Now this one can go across and then back heel here with this leg.
Okay.
Yeah. And now when you go down to your to this part. Yeah, good. Back heel, back heel. Just the top leg can be in a few different places, but the bottom leg has to stay between you and him. The main thing is that you get your right knee to the mat between his knees. Yeah. Now this time going to reverse X. Go in, good. Switch your feet now. Now you want to lift and pull the leg in, but before you can pull the leg in and reach, lift it. Good. He back steps all the way to his hip. Good, like this. So all the way down, back roll and come on top. Yeah.
So keep my leg over.
Keep both legs, yeah. So when he goes to his hip, you're just gonna back roll. Do it again. He goes all the way to the hip. Exactly. Nice, good job. I don't know what class you're watching, but it's not this one.
So, real quick.
Scoop grip above the knee. So that way, if he tries to yank that leg free, go ahead, try to pull that leg out. you're above the knee. If you're down low and it's really slippery, he just pulls the leg free and it can come out. So the knee will give you more control. Now, no. So keep X guard and make sticky feet here. Put his hands down, and now you're gonna put your right foot on his lat so that when he tries to come forward and face you, he can't. And now you're gonna shift your hips, so make your chest and hips face that way. All the way, turn your body. You're facing the ceiling, I want you to face the side, like this. Now you're gonna throw your leg into backside 50-50, lock your legs, pass the heel up towards the armpit, lock it up, and then from here, if you wanna finish from this position, you have to start turning your chest down to the floor. And extend slowly, and tap. Now, if he decides to come back a half step, if he decides to roll, follow him and put your knee on the floor. And then shift your hips so your knee goes all the way to the mat. Don't finish on your elbow, go down to your shoulder. Okay. And then start back heel and start the extension. It's time, very good, grab some water. So today we started off the series with an arm drag. So we were just showing a rising arm drag to the back. Then we showed when your training partner defends by posting a leg up that we can enter the legs. And then we went into a few options from X guard, reverse X, just kind of chaining the series together. Your partners, all rounds today will be open rounds, but you will start in the mounted position. If you get to a submission, you just switch top to bottom, restart in the mount. If you escape mount, just keep going freely until submission. So the start position will be mount, but the round will be open. All right, guys, so get with your partners. I gotta pee.